The compositional process for me has undergone several stages of evolution, and I feel that I'm able to use many different mediums and processes to compose music. Uh, Technology has presented an entire platform and enables us to really get a strong sense of what the music sounds like. Whereas in the old days, when it was just written on paper, you literally needed to get a group of people together to play it. So we're not as limited as we were back then. So I use the computer a lot and different DAWs, softwares, recording softwares to produce and compose music. So I was actually going through my hard drives a couple weeks ago, just seeing, beginning of the year, and getting a sense of how much stuff is unfinished and how much stuff is finished. So there's a lot of stuff that's unfinished, but I'm able to get a sense of the possibilities and how it's going to work, if it's going to work, just because the sequencer, the software plays it back for you, so you can pick all the instruments and hear it. So a lot of the compositions that are ready, or that are even in my debut record or the upcoming record, are compositions that I just realized this are compositions that I didn't write. I started writing on paper, but then I finished on the computer, or I just started on the computer and then it went to paper. So sometimes it starts with a very organic classic approach, where I'm sitting on my kitchen table, with a guitar and just basically using a pentagram and pencil, and making it look a certain way, calligraphy. Sometimes I write the parts by hand, but there's also the computer, so it really varies. And also I have collections, entire collections of voice memos, ideas where I'm walking down the street and I just sing a rhythm or a bass line or a melody, and that turns into a composition. So I mean, I don't think that I'll ever actually be able to catch up to just the amount of the queue of work that needs to be completed, because it always gets added to, and there's only a finite amount of time that I'm going to be on this planet. So it's I'm just trying to catch up with all the work I have to do. That's why I'm not sleeping enough. In addition to the technical aspect of the compositional process, or my method, I feel that I've made it a point to train myself to not be dependent on external influences or processes or stimuli, to help me finish a composition. For me, the composition is already finished. I just need to carve it out. So it doesn't necessarily take much creativity, because once the initial motif or cell structure is in place, then the DNA is already written into the idea. So therefore, the idea itself takes on, you gave it breath as soon as you conceived it. So therefore, it has its own evolutionary DNA, genetic material that it's going to grow into something, whether you like it or not. So as a composer, it doesn't matter if I'm tired or feeling not feeling very creative or whatever it is. All I have to do is just basically let it just act as a conduit. And I know that this sounds rather cliche, because a lot of people say that, oh, it's a thing from God, or I'm possessed by a. I don't think that I don't think anything like that. I'm just I need to unleash the life form that is on paper, so that then it can actually be realized in real life. And the life form being the piece of music, the idea, and then you just have to walk it through so it's in its entirety, in its full form. And that's that's what ends up being the composition. So it's almost like sculpting. You get a piece of rock that you know what it is, and you have some drafts, you have some idea, and then you carve out all of the. I mean, I'm not a sculptor, but you know, that's essentially what they do. They have a giant piece of marble or whatever it is, and then they carve out with a hammer and chisel, and they come up with something incredible.